What did you think was normal about your body until someone pointed out that it wasn't? My tongue has a bunch of cracks and craters in it and is not smooth. I thought I was bad at running because my throat would seize up and get painful whenever I ran for more than a minute. I mentioned this to my doctor when I was 30. Turns out I have asthma. When I lean on my elbows, my shoulder blades stick pretty far out behind me. Hard to explain, I guess. But multiple people have pointed it out as weird. Also, I can crack my wrists the same way most people can crack their knuckles. It's very satisfying. And like 5 times as loud. Apparently most people don't have much in the way of toe dexterity. I am monk down there. I once took part in a study as a paid participant. The doctors used ultrasound probes to examine the blood vessels on my face. They commented on how strange my face's blood vessels were. They struggled and puzzled a little while examining my face. Then they handed me more cash and asked whether I would be willing to donate my body after I died to a medical study. They were polite and respectful throughout the whole process. Just seemed excited? Edit. They didn't tell me what's wrong. So I DK either. And my face looks perfectly normal. At least from the outside. That your brain never stopping is not normal. It's actually a sign of hyperactivity. The first time I took meds and I only thought of one thing at a time. Overwhelming. I have bad ankles. I once asked my mom if bad ankles run in our family. She told me that nothing runs in our family. I asked her, because of the bad ankles? Quote, I knew I always had a stuffy nose, but didn't think much about it. Got onto medicine that finally helped. And my nose cleared up a bit and I could smell a little better in high school. Didn't realize how bad it had affected my sense of smell until college. Though, I had a chemistry lab where we had to determine the scent of some liquids. It's been too long for me to remember what they were. I couldn't smell anything until I breathed through my mouth. I was suddenly able to figure out each one. That's still how I smell things. The petit mal seizures I can remember as far back as 6 years old. It wasn't until I was 10 and had a grand mal seizure that I really understood I should have said something before then, but I was embarrassed. Thought I had great vision until I tried glasses and found that everything was so much sharper and more vivid. Apparently my left eye has a vision defect, but my right eye learned to compensate, so I never realized. My labia is long on both sides. I vividly remember going to the pediatrician and having my doctor say, I've never seen anything like this. I was 12. Now I know it's normal. But I spent my entire preteen and teen years horrified that there was something wrong with me. That any guy seeing it would think I was weird or gross. I am not kidding. I lived in fear that I was the only female in the world who had a longer labia. Thanks, pediatrician. It wasn't until I went to my first OBGYN appointment where I was crying asking about it that I was told this is very normal. First time I went to physical therapy for a back problem, I knelt on the table and both my knees cracked loud. PT was like, what was that? I am like, oh, just my knees. She was like, do they do that all the time? With this kinda worried look, lol. Yes, mine do. Then I proceeded to learn how inflexible parts of me are. I've honestly been doing the at-home exercises and they do help. Least the back issues. I get itchy as soon as I get overheated. Like an all-over body itch. There's no rash that pops up. I just get very, very itchy. My ball sack. Then when I started having sex, all the women pointed out how long and saggy my ball sack is. Then I started noticing other guys' balls and I was like, all these guys have such little ball sacks. A lot of guys have balls that aren't even longer than their penis. The beans are shorter than the frank. Whereas my beans are like 3x as long as my frank, and I don't have a small frank. So I guess I have long saggy balls. Like an old man. I've had old man balls since I was a teenager. I'll probably start tripping over them when I hit my 80s. My tongue has patches of white and pink. A dental hygienist pointed it out to me and called it a geographic tongue. Lower back dimples. I got teased in middle school when we went to a water park. My partner loves them. I got like tiny nipples even for a dude. Like dime-sized. Never thought about it till high school when I was changing and one of the seniors pointed it out. Nobody told me this. I ended up learning this on my own in my early 20s. I have a third nipple. I always thought it was a mole on my ribcage, and I actually used to like it and kinda thought it was cute. As soon as I discovered the truth, I immediately started to dislike it. And it's funny, but it actually does make me feel exposed when I'm wearing a bra or bikini and one of my nipples is showing. Lol. Pain in your stomach and esophagus when you're hungry. Apparently that's acid reflux, not hunger. My GYN told me that my vagina is twisted. That explains a few things, including my preference for certain positions and discomfort in others. And why guys with a left-hand curve were less comfortable than guys with straight or a right-hand curve. Weird.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.